Much of the boxing world not happy with this news of Gervonta Davis fighting Lamont Roach and not Shakur Stevenson. But guys, what do you want him to do? It's not like Shakur Stevenson is healthy anyways. Shakur just obviously went under, hand surgery, so we can't expect it to be Shakur Stevenson and Tank next. It wasn't going to be that big mega fight anyways, so I think people need to, start giving Tank a little bit, more credit. And I understand the frustration of wanting to see him fight the best. Trust me, I get it. As much as anyone, within the industry, within the circle of boxing, I want to see Tank against the best. And I think that he's kind of playing a dangerous game where he's playing with his prime. And I think, knowing that Tank really is in his best version right now, or at least is getting close to, the best version of himself, it's almost a disservice to not be fighting the best, because it can only go up for so long until it's eventually a decline, right? So like once you hit 30, which Tank is approaching, and then you start, get into 32, boxing, obviously we don't see the fights we want very often, but it's still a sport that moves quickly when it comes to, an individual boxer's career. So what I mean to say is, when Tank's not fighting, it's going to go by fast. He's going to be 31, he's going to be 32. He's getting close to 30 already. So I feel like as boxing fans, we just have to support the fact that he's staying active. I think we can't look at it just as, I understand this is kind of like the Leo Santa Cruz, making him move up in weight. In his debut, Lamont Roach is going to be fighting at 35 for the first time against Tank Davis. So it is kind of similar to that Leo Santa Cruz fight, but at least Tank is staying active. There's only a limit, there's only so many names that he could be fighting in general, and then let alone, at 35 that are realistic fights that, wouldn't take forever to make. If he's in negotiations with Lomachenko and, Lomachenko says, let me think about it, Tank could be playing a waiting game. So I respect the fact that Tank's at least staying active. I'd prefer this over not seeing him active and hearing talks of him fighting a guy like Teofimo Lopez or a guy like Devin Haney, when in actuality, I know that that's not the case. Devin Haney, I know that he's not going to get back in the ring in his return fight against the big puncher, just because that doesn't make any sense. Anybody who's taken a beating shouldn't go immediately to a stay busy fight or a get back fight with a big puncher. That's what I mean. So that fight as well isn't realistic for Devin, let alone Devin's not making 35. He's barely making 40. We saw Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia. Devin's a big 40-pounder, and he's a full-fledged welterweight at this point. So it's like you can't expect that Tank fight to even happen, because even when Tank's ready to move up to 140, which he's not right now, he's comfortably making 135, and Devin can't even get down to 140 comfortably without it affecting his performance. I don't know if we ever see Haney versus Tank, to be honest. I think we get lucky if we see Tank and Shakur Stevenson. I think that's ultimately the most realistic fight that can be made. But right now, Shakur Stevenson, with undergoing the surgery that he did, it's definitely going to take some time. He's going to have to make his debut with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, and then go from there. He's going to have to look good to the point where he can actually call out Tank with confidence. And that takes a lot, because in Shakur's last few performances, he's dominated the fights in general, but it hasn't given the people an impression that he's going to be the one to beat Tank. Even though he does have that ability, his performances haven't been stellar to the point where we can confidently say this is the guy that's going to, knock off Tank. And I personally think that he's the only one that can really do it, but I still favor Tank in the fight, and that's with all respect to Shakur Stevenson. I know how good Shakur Stevenson is, but I just think Tank's going to force him to fight. Gervonta Davis isn't Steve Claggett. He's not one of these guys that, sits in front of big punchers like Teofimo Lopez dealt with Steve Claggett. It's not going to be like that. It's not the same as Shakur's last opponent. I can't think of his name right off the top of my tongue. I'm trying to think of it. Artem Hardatunian. That's who Shakur fought last. And I just feel like it's different. Tank's a different beast. And I think once he gets in there with Shakur Stevenson, it's going to be a chess match for sure. At least in the early rounds, it's more so, is Shakur going to be able to stay stay away from, you know, getting caught with something clean from Tank. That's always been the question. It's always going to be the question up until fight night, but I just don't see it. I don't see Shakur, you know, being able to avoid that firefight. I think to some extent he's going to have to engage with Tank, and I think that's when Tank capitalizes in an exchange and eventually, you know, stops Shakur Stevenson. But if Shakur is able to pull off the upset, because I do believe that Tank would be the heavy favorite. No, I don't know about a heavy favorite, but he'd definitely be the favorite if the fight did happen now. You know, but I'd still, yeah, I can't see Shakur beating Tank. Like if it happens, it's not really gonna surprise me, but I pick Tank to beat Shakur right now. I think, you know, with everything I've seen, I think the power from Tank is right there. It's not even the power. It's like what everybody says about Tank. It's not necessarily the power. He doesn't hit that hard, but it's the placement of the shot. You know, it's the precision and accuracy of Tank's, you know, shot selection that makes him so deadly in the sport of boxing. It's not really the power. He just knows how to time it. He does have that IQ, and in order to place shots, that takes IQ. So for all the people saying that Tank's just a knockout artist, while he is a knockout artist, that's not all he is. You know, it takes placement to do what Tank does. He's not just a knockout artist. I'd argue, you know, Mike Tyson was a knockout artist because that was his thing. That was his style, and he wasn't really a boxer. This guy just liked to throw haymakers, and, you know, that peekaboo style, that up and down awkward motion, that was just how he was. But Tank can do a variety of different things. He can box if he has to. He can show off that footwork if he has to. And the power is there. And not only that, he can set up that power and place the shot. You know, he can make you feel comfortable, and in exchange, he can catch you with one shot that puts you, you know, out for the whole fight. You know, that's what makes him dangerous. I think that's the element that's lacking from Shakur Stevenson. It's more so, you know, that quick speed, that explosion of, you know, counter punching to the point where that placement of the shot is precise and it's effective. It has to be, you know, have some heat on it. He just doesn't have that, at least to the extent that Tank does, and I think that's why Tank would ultimately beat Shakur. But, you know, that's still the dream fight for me between Tank and Shakur Stevenson. That's the only fight that I care, that I really want to see, you know, from both fighters. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about Tank's announcement to fight Lamont Roach in December. But let me know in the comments who you guys would have between Shakur and Tank. That's the fight we ultimately want. But let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next Nabs boxing video. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nabs Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.